There are many engines on the railroad that are all good at different things. Andrew is good at switching cars. Ed and David are good at pulling heavy freight trains. Sarah and Joseph are good passenger engines. But sometimes there's too much work, so more engines are needed. Sam is a new express engine that looks like Sarah. When he arrived, Sarah was asked to show him what to do. She enjoyed teaching Sam. It was like having a brother of her own. Sam was eager to learn and be really useful. Perhaps even a bit too eager. One morning, he was waiting at the platform for a switcher to bring his coaches. He was very impatient. "Hurry up," he snapped. "This is an important train, and I can't be late with it." "Bossy boiler," the switcher muttered. Soon, Sam was speeding through the prairies toward Cheyenne. He was right on time, and the rails hummed under his wheels. He pulled into the station, and people began getting on and off his train. Sam watched the clock anxiously, ready to get moving again. His engineer kept the brakes on and said, "Steady, boy. We've got to wait for a freight train to pass before we can leave." "It better hurry up." Sam waited and waited, growing more and more impatient. At last, Hubert chugged in with 10 freight cars in tow. "They made me wait for that? I could have been here in half that time. Not that you'd ever see me pulling freight trains." As Hubert passed by, Sam said, "Rusty old slowpoke." Before Hubert could answer, the signal dropped and Sam raced off. He reached the end of his journey and went to rest. As he waited, he saw Joseph nearby. One of the older express engines. No wonder they built engines like me. He can't climb hills. Joseph heard Sam and was very hurt by what he'd said. The next day, Sarah stopped in Cheyenne with her train. Hubert came along to talk to her. "I'm glad it's you, Sarah," he said. "I met your brother yesterday, and he was far from pleasant." "What do you mean?" Hubert told her everything. Sarah was shocked. She promised to have a word with Sam when she next saw him. When she arrived at the last station, she saw Joseph on a siding, looking miserable. She asked him why, and he told her what Sam had said to him. Sarah couldn't believe it. She puffed angrily to the roundhouse to find Sam. He was resting comfortably when she backed in next to him. "What's this I hear about you calling Hubert names?" Sam opened a sleepy eye. "Who?" "The engine from Cheyenne." "Oh, yes, the old slowpoke." "How could you say that to him?" "Because he is old and slow." "That's no reason to be so rude. How would you like it if he called you something like that?" "Ha! He couldn't, because I'm never late. I'm always right on time, no matter the weather or how heavy my train is. Unlike that old rattler out there." "You mean Joseph?" "Is that his name? Then yes, him." Sarah was furious now. Joseph, like Hubert, was a very dear friend to her, and she didn't like anyone saying mean things about her friends. She began to yell at Sam, with words best not repeated. When she was done, Sam was very sorry and ready to apologize to Joseph and Hubert. Both engines soon forgave him, and he never said anything rude to them again. He now knows that every engine is useful, no matter what jobs they do. Of course, he still had a lot to learn, but that's another story.